Guys, this is Mark.
And this is Michelle.
And we are coming to you live on an incredibly stormy night in Oklahoma City. It was a Category 3 hurricane, believe it or not.
Yeah, they said the barometric pressure was that low.
Mm-hmm. So
tonight, we're going to talk about what to expect with physical detox doing the medical medium diet.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Billy Kitty touching my toes.
Stop that. Okay. Hey, Taj, how's it going?
Hey, Taj, I guess you made it through the storm.
Yeah. You know, it's funny, after going through the whole city from Whole Foods to here, once I got to the edge of Bethany, all the power was still on. But everybody east of that was not.
Oh, wow. Well, Taj has a phone at least.
Taj, at least, yeah, that or power. So, all right. Well, guys, we are going to talk about physical detox, and we're going to let Michelle get started.
Now, did you want to discuss anything about the GAPS diet, physical detox? Did you experience any detox?
You know, I can't say it was, I wouldn't say it was detox. It might have been, but we were so new to those diets that the GAPS diet detox. I'm not going to say that a change in diet, survivor, woohoo! And Taj and his family are survivors. They survived the August hurricane, 2019 hurricane. Sounds like the Great Storm.
Yes.
Anyway.
The very great storm.
Exactly. But, or the Great Freeze.
Okay, so.
So anyway, on GAPS, we were so new to that, we didn't really know what detox was. I would say, you know how when you change a pet's diet, you have to do it gradually? The truth is, with humans, you have to do it gradually too. Otherwise, you wind up with gas and bloating and maybe vomiting and low energy and diarrhea or constipation, numerous things. And so we jump right into the GAPS. So we had
all that stuff before we did the GAPS.
Well, yeah, we did.
And it got better.
It got better, but our first couple weeks on the GAPS were diarrhea.
Were they?
Yeah, I remember not so much gas and bloating and stuff, but definitely diarrhea.
Honestly, I don't remember that far away.
Gut pain and that kind of stuff. I don't know, that's been over 6 years now. But we remember the Marlo. But I remember that. But I wouldn't call that detox. I would just call that diet change. So I'm not really going to talk about detox on GAPS because Dr. Campbell McBride, she talks about detoxing on the GAPS, but you do that using juice, so juicing. But we didn't do that because I couldn't.
I did a little bit, but I always had trouble with it.
Right, and so did I. So I wouldn't say we detoxed really there either.
Yeah, I didn't have much fruit ever on the GAPS.
No,
it
you didn't have fruit.
Feel worse.
Exactly. So we'll skip the GAPS because I just experienced diet change. I don't remember any detox, and we'll go right into medical medium detox.
Right. So we did experience detox on medical medium.
We did.
And we still do if we do it too much.
Right.
Okay, so what...
And so will you if you do it too much.
Yes. So what can I expect when I start the medical medium? Now, this is coming from the 28-day cleanse perspective. If you are starting with just the heavy metal detox smoothie or just...
Ashley!
Or just the celery juice, and you're still eating the Great American Diet, then you're going to have a very different experience. And everyone has a different experience anyway, because everyone has different metals in them. Everyone has different
places,
viruses, different strep, different. Everybody's different. What's inside them is different. So no two people have the same detox experience. But what I have seen from being on the detox support groups and helping people like Ashley, there are some things that can happen that are common to totally switching from high fat,
high protein, low carb
diet to an all plant-based,
high carb diet. Yeah.
Especially if you quit eating the no foods. Okay, so brain must have got struck by lightning just now.
Right.
Okay, so the first thing I noticed very quickly upon starting the 28-day was the diarrhea, gas, and bloating.
Mm-hmm.
And you had that too, didn't you?
Yep.
And flu-like symptoms. So
true.
Yeah,
because we had mild
fevers.
Now that might have been.
Well, we thought we had the actual flu too.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I remember now. Yeah, and then we thought, well, maybe we need to fight it with such and such, But we didn't. We just kept on the 28-day cleanse.
We did. We added. There was one day I ate 3 pounds of oranges.
Yeah, that's right.
And that worked. That was so crazy.
It did.
Okay, you can also feel ungrounded. I did. I felt like I was out of my body.
Can you describe ungrounded?
Floating.
Mm-hmm.
The experience of floating rather than being in the body.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like you're not connected to anything.
Not connected. It was pretty strange feeling.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't experience that, did you?
Not to a tiny bit, maybe. I felt I was
too aspy.
Yeah,
still?
well, still too heavy,
Too
still toxified.
Yeah.
Intoxicated. There you go. And so I didn't experience that so much. What I experienced was a lot of gas because my gut was and bloating and because my gut was getting used to all that fiber because it was a lot of fiber. And because you're eating all plants.
Well, actually, I wonder really if it's just that it's killed so much stuff off all at once.
Well, as much as we were eating food-wise, we were always full and always processing fiber. And so I think it was pushing them out, killing them and pushing them out. Because, man, if you eat what he says to eat, the amount of fruit he says to eat, you're just like on a huge high, and you feel great. And so we were like that most of that 28 days.
Well, and I wrote that down. Sometimes you feel better than you ever have in your whole life, and you experience euphoria.
Mm-hmm. And you want to keep that up because you feel so good.
Now, the euphoria chills out, and you just feel good.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not high anymore. But I kind of wonder if it's because you've come from a place where you didn't have any glucose to a place where suddenly you're having so much glucose that all your receptors are being filled and they're just all so happy.
All your cells are dancing the glucosity dance,
And then as you keep doing it, they're just like any kind of drug. Your body gets used to it.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a good thing because it makes you better and better and better.
It does, because that's all we've seen on this diet. Our first few months of doing the diet, we were sick with strep quite a bit. She was sick 7 times, and I think I was sick with strep 5 or 6 times. And what I mean is strep throat and like sinus infections and that kind of stuff. But each time it gradually got milder and milder.
Right.
Now that was cool.
And that's what I've written down as well. The body heals in layers. So you may find for a few weeks, and then something else will pop up. Don't be surprised by that. It's another layer. It's gone deeper into your organs or something like that.
The healing has gone deep. Right. Is that what you mean? Okay.
So it's reached in deeper to get deeper viruses and deeper
bacteria. Whatever. Yeah.
So each time, though, each flare becomes less. It less intense. It lasts less long. And you can get skin eruptions. I had strange rashes and bumps popping up everywhere. So that can happen. Mark, you want to talk about your abnormal thoughts?
Okay. Well, when I was autistic, and even still through the first year and a half of the diet, I had intrusive thoughts. Thoughts that I couldn't control. It was hard to push them out if I could ever at all. And so a lot of those thoughts were not thoughts that I would normally have, like getting struck by lightning. Now tonight that actually you can run a chance of that, but normally you don't run a chance of that, right? And so, or getting hit by a train. I'm walking through a parking lot. Why would I get hit by a train? So, weird things like that. but then for me, I also had abnormal feelings of fear for no reason. Well, a night terror once. I've never had those up until November last year, and I had a night terror. Woke up during the middle of the night, like 2:30, with a night terror. I mean, and absolutely terror-filled, terror-struck, and came out of nowhere. And I haven't had one since then,
Good.
And yeah, and so, you'll have abnormal thoughts and feelings. And when I would talk to people on the medical medium support groups, they'd be like, oh yeah, it happens, So that is something to keep an eye out for, or an emotional sensor out for, because
that's a reason to go slower.
Well, exactly. Because you'll find if you're a hardcore person like us, where you just dive in and you just do it, you'll probably find that you're detoxing too fast and you need to slow down. And even people who aren't hardcore, they need to slow down. So, because then they'll say, well, like a friend of mine, her and her boyfriend at work, they're doing the heavy metal detox smoothie. And she said the other day, man, I just had some feelings I've never had before. And I said, well, let's slow down on the detox. She said, that's all it is? I said, yeah, more than likely.
Yeah, it's amazing what comes out of your body that you don't know is there.
And not in a physical way.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, emotively.
Well, and sometimes you can have emotional.
Go ahead.
Okay. Have emotional outbursts, and you don't know why. Well, things are moving around. Things are clearing out. And you'll get mad or you'll get rageful, and you'll just have a quick, short little outburst. It'll go away and you'll never have it again. That happened to me a couple of times.
Yeah,
maybe more. Maybe a few
stuff
dozen.
that you've stuffed inside that you never dealt with that's going to come out.
Yep.
But it's manageable.
Mm-hmm. Right. And like the friend of mine I was telling you about just now, she told me, she said, I'm having feelings. She told me at another time, I'm having feelings come up now that I haven't ever thought about since I had originally had them. I said, yeah, well, just go through your forgiveness prayer or your forgiveness ritual and let it go, and you do have to do that because.
Yes, make sure you know about that
mm-hmm.
when this happens. It makes it so much easier to process through it.
It does. Just forgive it and let it go, So what else?
Skewed perception.
Oh, see, with viruses dying off and creating neurotoxins, then
and heavy metals themselves are neurotoxins.
Right, and heavy metals may be moving around before they get pushed out. It's going to skew your perception because you'll think you see something some way, and you'll be like, wait a minute, but I've never seen it this way before. Why is this a problem? See, that's what I had to do, and so between the viruses killing off stuff, the bacteria. And if you have SIBO, small intestine bacterial overgrowth, or if you have PANDAS, or any of your kids
or
do.
HHV, whatever. There's a whole bunch of them.
The HHV, that's the human herpes virus 6 and 7.
There's a bunch of them. I think there's like 15 that he talks about.
Right, but those feed on the heavy metals.
Mm-hmm.
So when they die, they put neurotoxins into your blood, and that damages your nerves. Well, that also skews how you see your world and how you see people in your world.
Right.
So that can happen too. That happened to me a few times.
Yeah.
So.
But it's manageable. I mean, if you know that this is a possibility, then you can handle it.
Right. And, and even if you don't get it the first time or the second time, you just tell your brain, hey, help me remember that.
Right.
And it will.
Yeah. Cravings. These are different than just cravings. These are things that you went to a party and had a pizza and you had a really bad experience, and that whole idea will bubble up, and you'll want to eat pizza to swallow that again.
And you'll have this intense feeling to go get pizza.
So if this happens, eat some dates.
Yep.
Eat some dates and do forgiveness.
If you look up medical mediums podcast on, is it addiction?
There were
or
two.
Food cravings, something like that.
There are several, so
okay.
I'm not sure which one.
Well, there was one we listened to on the way back from St. Louis.
There was addiction. We did two.
And he says the really the only way to conquer addictions like that, cravings, you might say, is you definitely say cravings, is glucose. As much glucose as you can get.
And never be hungry.
Right.
Never.
Because if your stomach's growling, it's too late. So what you need to do is load up on glucose, load up on bananas, load up on dates, load up on oranges,
apples,
honey, apples,
Yeah, if you get one of those cravings and it's an emergency craving, eat a tablespoon of honey.
Yep.
If you have something bad happen, you get some bad news, eat some honey as soon as possible.
Yep. Any traumatic news, any traumatic circumstance, you have a fight with somebody, even physically, which most of us don't do, but eat some dates, eat some honey, get some glucose in you.
Dip your dates in honey.
There you go.
Get it in there.
Just to get those adrenals back up.
Now, flares can occur.
Mm-hmm.
So if you happen to have a shingles virus, it can come up. And these things get really angry because they're trying to stay alive. So it can come really intensely. So that's like I had the strep 7 times. And then I finally started backing off of the detox so that I could handle that. And I guess we were off of it for like a year. 6.
Well, the heavy metal?
The heavy metal detox smoothie.
Yeah.
I was just getting way too sick.
But
I stayed on all fruit. I did lots of fruit and veg.
Well, what I was going to say is, notice now though,
now we're doing it again, and
we're
I'm
doing
not having
16 ounces of celery juice and 16 ounces of the smoothie. We're not having any strep trouble.
And I'm not having any trouble. So I healed in that time, even though I wasn't doing heavy metal detox smoothie and the celery juice.
Yeah. So healing can occur.
But I'm back on it now so that I can really get it.
Right. Right.
Whatever's stuck in there.
All right. What else?
Well, I think we covered it all.
We covered most everything. But again, the biggest detoxing foods you can do, or the recipes, are the celery juice and the heavy metal detox smoothie. And if you're taking those and you're feeling bad and you're feeling horrible, you've got flares coming up and rashes and flu-like symptoms and all of outbursts and skewed perception and cravings and all that, cut back on them. Cut back on the detox. Cut back to half. Now, if that's still too much, cut back to a quarter.
Yes.
Because some people are really sensitive.
Yeah. Well, some people are really sick.
Well, exactly.
I'm not now. I'm so excited. My tonsils have had white patches on them my whole life, and now there are no white patches.
Well, and now she can eat black pepper without coughing, or
stuff used to get stuck in those patches, and I'd cough for days, it felt like.
Yeah. She's still not eating hot sauce, but I don't expect that.
I don't really like it because it covers up the flavor of the food.
Well, hot sauce has its own flavor, but I get it. But anyway, really,
Marlo's son made the detox smoothie.
Woohoo! I don't know how to begin to remove gluten and dairy rice, but I have them eating more fruit. Well, barter.
Also, switch it out. If you can move, if it's a bread, move to a potato bread.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Substitute.
If it's dairy, get coconut or almond
milk.
Almond ice cream.
Right, right.
Or a vegan cheese.
Right. If
it's rice, move to brown rice.
Mm-hmm. That's the substitute, because that works. I mean, the almond crust that we do for pizza is excellent.
Yeah.
I actually like it better than regular pizza crust, because regular pizza crust doesn't have the same amount of flavor that almond crust does.
Yes. I mean, it doesn't hold together as well.
No, but it
actually
cook it
tastes really good.
Till it's crispy. But then something else to do, Marlo, is barter. I told another mother this tonight. If they want ice cream, then they have to eat 2 bananas, right? If they want a cookie, then they have to eat 3 bananas, or 2 oranges, or whatever. Just barter with them, and don't worry about if you're buying them off or you're setting them up. You can train them to do that later, but to undo all that later. Right now, barter for them and get them to eat the right fruits, and you'll be good. So, all right.
Great job, Marlo.
Thank you.
It's cheese and yogurt. Okay, so move to.
There's coconut yogurt.
Coconut yogurt.
And And there's
there might be almond. Is there almond yogurt? I know
there is an
Ashley
almond,
would probably know.
There is an almond milk yogurt.
Yeah.
And
then look for the vegan cheeses.
Yeah, vegan cheeses.
They're still not medical medium, but it's better than eating the dairy.
Right. You have to do this slow.
Yeah.
And you can't just throw your kids off into the deep end and expect them to swim. So.
Unless you can.
Well, unless you can. But I haven't encountered any yet, really, hardly. But all right. Anything else?
I guess we need to tell what.
Well, guys, continue to do the heavy metal detox and continue to do the lemon water and continue to do the celery juice.
Tomorrow we're going to talk about emotional detox. What is that? Question mark.
You want me to explain
it? It's a cliffhanger.
Okay, all right, we're going to leave it as a cliffhanger. So we'll see you guys tomorrow night at 10:45.
Bye, guys.
Bye.